We used a different
Actor.
Kyle Cabot,
Only
no?
because
We would have had to fly him.
we would have had to travel him, and
back
it was
out.
just a cost thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were both great.
Both guys were really
Kyles,
good.
Yeah.
This guy, they actually look a lot alike
Yeah.
in that room.
Yeah, we cast for the type.
It's Ruben Santiago Hudson playing the captain, Montgomery.
With a single subject.
Yeah, well, your superfan also has a history of delusions. Guess whose caseworker was?
Allison Tisdale.
Yeah. Her files indicate that he was on pretty heavy antipsychotics.
Limited intelligence, thinks he has a personal relationship with his hero. Looks like your profile was right, Detective Beckett.
So,
And for those of you who are looking close, this interrogation room is much different than the interrogation room that she interrogates Castle in the beginning. And the interrogation took place in New York of Castle.
Oh, that's
That
right.
was
And
a
this is
different
shot in
part.
LA.
Obviously, the previous interrogation was a different part of the building.
Yes, clearly. Yeah, that was down in the basement.
Yeah.
This one was in use at the time.
We
hottest room on the set.
The interrogation room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How's it editing hair, guys?
You know this kid was in and out
What?
of the system.
How is it editing hair?
The hairstyles.
You have 23
Yeah.
different hair
Hairstyles in this.
styles in this pilot.
In editing, it became a drinking game.
That's why it took so long.
God.
Hey, can you leave the box?
And we're back in the L.A., the precinct we built in L.A.
A
for this.
great precinct, by the way.
Yeah.
A great
That's an
set.
Amazing set.
Alfred did a great job, our set designer.
That was inspired. The look of that place was inspired by our trip, our early trips to New York to the meatpacking district. We went up to that club.
Yeah, the Soho Club.
Was that what it was? Soho
Yeah,
Club.
yeah.
So that was it. The appreciation of the old
Yeah.
aesthetic and then the new.
Look at
How
Steve
is
and
this?
Jake
How is
now.
it shooting
We
this?
should say something about our guest stars here today.
Amazing guest stars.
Yeah, this was so much fun. You know, in the original script, I always had the poker game with Richard Castle and some of his mystery writing buddies, and we shot the presentation. You know, we didn't have any credibility to be able to get people in, and so when we went to fill out the pilot, we knew we were going to series. We made some calls, and we were able to get James Patterson in the scene, and he was terrific and a lot of fun. And of course, he had some history with ABC with Women's Murder Club. And Stephen Cannell, who is a very old friend of Rob's. Rob just picked up the phone and gave Stephen a call. And it was just such a wonderful opportunity to have these two great writers, two great mystery writers, to fill out the table and give legitimacy to this. And you know, here's a guy trying to solve, you know, a real-life murder, and he's couching it like a story. And these guys are like, that's a terrible story.
Yeah, it's
You
funny.
can't end it there.
Now,
There's
were
got to be a twist.
these two members of the Screen Actors Guild?
They are now if they weren't before. No, Cannell's been doing it for a long time. I think Patterson has before also.
Wow.
What I love about it is you pick two guys who, this is not their profession. They walk in, they can act.
They were great.
Love it. Love it.
Well, they're just being themselves.
And you know, they both thought that you were very generous to them in the scene.
And not
that you
bad.
gave a lot. Was it fun to act opposite these guys?
It was a ball. It was
And
a
to
piece
meet
of
them?
cake. It was a piece of, yes, and to meet them as well, yes. Very exciting for
Was
me.
it? Ask the
New
question
York.
again. Ask the question again.
Was it fun for you to meet these guys, especially since your character is this kind of novelist?
Very exciting to meet them. A lot of fun. I'm not the kind of actor who needs to tail a novelist to play a novelist on TV, but to hang out with them and just and see that they're just jovial, fun, relaxed guys. It's like, I got this part locked.
I gotta say, tailing a novelist, not that interesting. You basically sit in a chair and watch them type for 8 hours and bang their head against the wall. So,
We're coming to a defining moment in this relationship.
we call this Lucy and the football, right?
Lucy in the football.
This is where, you know, Castle is just sincere enough that she's had her guard up the whole time. She's not going to fall for his line of bull. And then, you know, the case is over, everything's done. This guy's being sweet. Okay, maybe just for a second, I'll let my guard down and
Great moment
trust
coming.
what
Right,
he's saying.
right. That.
Nice. Oh, I love that. It's nice.
I was just kissed by Richard Castle.
That's not what she's thinking.
What was she thinking?
It's like, what's his angle?
No, not yet.
Maybe there's no angle.
Now
Maybe-
she starts thinking about the angle, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe it's
shouldn't
okay.
have been so
Maybe
hard on him.
he's a nice
He's
guy.
not so
Nice
bad.
guy after all.
That was a
No.
good.
That
That was
is
a
the
good
only
positive.
ones.
What the wait?
Wait a second. Wait a second. Whoa.
Where's my... He took my... Oh, hell no.
Richard Castle, you are under arrest for felony theft and obstruction of justice.
And that look on his face. I think Andrew and I were in the van on the way back to the hotel. We were talking about that we wanted to cut. I can't remember exactly how the sequencing was, but he said we should cut to Castle when the door burst open and see him smile. And boy, was that an insight into who Castle was for me.
He knew she was coming.
But that's the thing is, I knew I was going to get her. It's gonna be fun to have her chew me out,
Get chased.
and that's an engine for the series.
Yeah.
Is watching her squirm and get mad at me is going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch for the audience.
Like I said, that was a fun scene for me that day because we shot that at a library at Columbia University, and my class reunion, I went to Columbia, had been the weekend before, and I couldn't go because we were shooting.
Oh.
So just have that little homecoming up at Columbia while we were shooting. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But you still got the wrong guy.
Really?
And so this is a fun moment here where you see that there's a little doubt creeping into her, and that she wonders if, in fact, he may be right. We want to set Beckett up as a really great cop, so she's not going to turn her back on something if there are unanswered questions. And what we did in the cross-cutting of this scene is try to imply that even though these two characters aren't working together yet physically, there is this notion of they've already started to solve the crime together.
Common thinking. Common problem, common solution.
Doesn't make any sense.
Somebody set up Kyle to take the fall. Somebody who knew enough about his fixation with me to use it to get away with murder. That means we're not looking for a serial killer. We're looking for a good old-fashioned murderer, someone with motive.
This was a process shot that we shot in New York in the hottest room ever. It must have been 100 degrees that day in New York.
And 140 in this room.
Yeah, and they're in a car, and hot lights are shooting at it. Oh, man, that day.
And at one point, you'd asked Nathan if he could pick up his pace, and Nathan said,
What did I say?
I'm saying the words as fast as I could remember them. There was a lot of dialogue in this scene.
That was a great moment when she popped up. Half tipsy, I believe.
Yeah, having Susan Sullivan pop in that moment.
We shot this
to break the bubble. Because, it's a very exposition-heavy scene, and we just wanted to make sure that we popped the bubble in the middle so that we just weren't laying the exposition out there.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Susan, once again, steals the scene. Love it.
Now, you guys shot this in a really hot room in New York.
Yeah, that's in New York. And
the
you
other
guys are back
scene,
in
yeah,
LA.
we're shooting in a really nice, brand new stage. Air conditioned. They actually turn it off when we start rolling, but then it comes back on and keeps us nice and cool.
Wow.
No, she wasn't seeing anyone, and none of her other case files fit the profile.
Well, somebody had to know something about her.
So if the killer...
She's trying to add more work to my plate.
Somebody wanted Allison dead. Just have to figure out why.
You all right, Rob? I don't know if you guys can hear that at home, but Rob Bowman is...
Swine flu.
By the time you see this, that flu will be eradicated.
Can you tell us about the music? Why you guys picked this music? Andrew, I know you guys went through a couple of scores for the show.
We worked really hard on finding a musical identity for this, and we wanted to find something that implied having a really good time, but also was using instrumentation to deal with the mystery aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And our composer, Robert Duncan, found this great sound with the mandolin, which both serves as castle hijinks, sort of the little cat in the hat, what sort of trouble he's going to get into, but also can turn on a dime to take you into the mystery. Because part of the challenge of the show is we're dealing with dead bodies, and we're dealing with, some funny stuff, and we have to be able to turn on a dime at any scene, and the instrumentation has to reflect that.
Maybe we should talk a moment about Keir.
Oh, yeah.
It was such a privilege to have Keir Delay in the pilot. He's such a great actor, and his work in 2001, I've always been a big fan. I know you were too, Rob.
Well, the pinnacle moment was during the filming, walking up to Keir. Can I ask you a favor, please? And he just said, open the pod bay doors, Hal. And how did you know? That was so cool.
You were very well behaved.
I'm sorry, Dave.
Point,
I can't do that.
And this is an important scene for me as well, because this is the first time, I think, in the show, and thus the series, where it kind of landed for me, for Castle, that murder matters to someone. As much fun as he's having, and as much of a jaunt this is for him, obviously it hits a somber note here with Keir, and I think he let that land really well for us.
Yeah, he really brought the